There is no need to be perfect to inspire others. Let people get inspired by how you deal with your imperfections. The late Mr. Gerald was truly an inspiration to many, and he will always be in our hearts for the great work he left behind and being a true leader. May his soul rest in eternal peace. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. The late Mr. Gerald and Mr. Simon started the foundation and went the way to accomplish and fulfill their leadership dreams. Irie Media set out to the field to interact with not only the founder but also the alumni who shared their journey in the foundation.
We currently have a database of 3,000 leaders so far. This is people who engage in our programs, especially weekends, because the dynamics of schools is we can't interfere with their programs or calendar during the weekdays, so we only work over the weekends. These are people who have just come for events or just taken part in the mentorship program. So I would say roughly 3,000. I can start with 2 years from now, because we're currently having a partnership with the Commonwealth. So we partnered with the Commonwealth School Association. So this is the body that heads all school programs within the Commonwealth countries. So that will create a bigger impact, because what they want to do is to create an exchange program where people move from one country to the other within the 53 countries. So the idea is to have these young people within these 53 countries moving across countries to be able to offer the same program. So we are looking at about 5,000 in the next 2 years and hopefully 10,000 in the next 5 years. So that partnership with ISEC International and Commonwealth will really boost or create a bigger impact of what we hope to see. Simon is a young leader. I still consider myself youthful, and I am passionate about community development. I believe the best form of leadership is when you serve, because when you serve from a point of love or a point of sacrifice. So the fact that Africa has the biggest issues in terms of needs, I think we have the opportunity to be able to be the solution of what Africa needs. So that's why my ecosystem is all about Africa. That's why my choices of career is along Africa, by working at ALX, studying at the African Leadership School of Business. So I'm trying to get myself into the culture of Pan-Africanism, because I believe our own young people are the change we all been seeking. So that's what Simon does, and that's what Simon is.
So my name is Fatia Kipsoi. I studied in the University of Nairobi. I currently work with a media company that produces the Inside and Outsider magazine, and I'm a project manager, or let's just say a traffic manager. I love reading. I read fiction, non-fiction. Like, it's so funny how whenever I think about relaxing, the first thing I think about is a nice cold drink, relaxing, and reading.
Yeah, so my name is Reynolds Owor. I went to Kenyatta University. I'm currently working as a HR associate, and I'm also an entrepreneur. And on the part-time, I'm also a commercial model.
My name is Daniela Uluch. I'm a student at Kenyatta University, currently doing counseling psychology in my 4th year. I love doing many different things. Anything to do with people is something I really enjoy doing. So if it's socializing, hanging out with people, just being around them is great for me. I also really like music. Not too wordy, so like things classical music, piano, violin, cello, and the likes. Yeah.
So I knew about the organization U&I through Simon Kyoko, who's the founder. I was in an organization called ISAC, which is a youth organization that drives leadership through exchange. And Simon was appointed as my mentor. So I remember as we were having our mentorship sessions, he was mentioning something about starting U&I as an organization and told me the concept about it. And I was really, really excited to know more about it. Yeah.
So I knew about U&I through Simon Kyoko, one of the founders of U&I. He had invited me for a children's home visit, which was the first event that I attended. So going for that is how I learned about U&I.
When I was in campus, I used to be the president of ISAC in Kenyatta University, and I was also the Secretary General for Sub-Saharan International Model UN. And we had a partnership with U&I to organize an event. And through that event is when I got to understand more about like what U&I does and what their mission and their vision is.
I decided to join the organization because of Simon, because I know the kind of leader he is, because he was a leader in ISAC before, and also because when he was speaking about the concept of U&I and what they were trying to bring forth, I was really interested, because as young people in Kenya especially, we don't believe, we're always told we'll be leaders tomorrow. It's not about being leaders now, being leaders in our today. And that's why I actually thought it was really prudent for me to want to join the organization. Yeah.
So U&I focuses quite a bit on service and just social impact, yeah. We do a lot of talking and we have really good strategies about some of the things we actually want to do, but sometimes there's very little action about it. So U&I was that organization that's actually doing something about these different social issues. So that's why I joined, because it does the action bit.
I guess I decided to join them because of their philosophy about like opening up leadership development to young people in high school and also after high school. So that vision really connected to me and connected to what my life is about. And for me, like being a part of U&I was just the next logical step.
I joined the program. I was just trying to figure out what am I doing with my life. Yes, I was in university. I was trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life. Am I still going to stick with what I'm studying? But even as I was interacting with the people in the program and the program itself, I learned that I just need to pick one thing I'm passionate about and run with it. It doesn't matter if anyone else does not believe in it. It's just about me believing in it. The challenges I faced when beginning the program and even through the program was that, you know, you talk about passion and learning what and trying to follow your passion, but it's not easy for you to know exactly what you're passionate about. So it was a lot of soul searching and also just trying to be more self-aware. And I tackled this challenge through a lot of conversations with people who I believed were very self-aware, conversations with people who I believe were very passionate, and also reading a lot and just reflecting and meditating. So yeah.
Able to get more, like I have more of a I'm more self-aware. I'm able to understand myself to a deeper level, because when I'm mentoring other people, it also helps me take a step back and look at like everything that I've been able to accomplish, my successes, my failures, and I just get like a better appreciation of the journey that I've gone through. And yeah, like self-awareness, U&I has been able to help me gain that self-awareness. The challenges, I guess, in the beginning was being open to be able to let people in. Yeah, like when you're mentoring someone, it's very, very difficult because it's very difficult to tell people your failures. You know, like it takes a lot of introspection and a lot of vulnerability to be able to allow someone in. Yeah, and how I was able to overcoming it is like I felt like if I don't share my story and if I don't tell these people about these are the downfalls or these are the pitfalls that you'll go through, then I'm doing a disservice to these people, and it will also help me be able to like come to terms with my failures. Yeah. The
different people you meet, every person I've met through U&I has a different story, has a different lesson that they want to teach you, and you know, all that put together really has enriched my life. In terms of the different leadership roles that I've had to take through my university, U&I has played a big role in that, especially through the mentoring bit. And I'd say one of the biggest challenges while I was a president for ISEC in Kenyatta University, there were many challenges that came up with that, leading an entire entity. And one of the key things, I think I'll go back to what I'd said earlier, the asking for advice from the right people, like that's very, very key. And then implementing, which is what U&I is all about, implementing all these different things that we actually want to achieve.
I'd tell Simon that I believe in him, that I know he can definitely do much more, and that I love what he's doing, and regardless of the challenges he's faced in the past, that he has the resilience to do anything he puts his mind to, and I'm right behind him, pushing him and supporting him.
I mean, I'm just grateful. Like, Simon is one of those like leaders. He was my mentor, and he's one of those people when you're just having a conversation, he has like profound thoughts, and he'll, like, when you're in a conversation with Simon, he helps you look at things in a very, very different perspective, and I really appreciate that about Simon. And I would also like to thank him for allowing me to become a mentor in the program, because I feel like it, as much as I think I have contributed, I feel like the contribution that I've gotten from the organization is much, much more, and it's very, very invaluable. So I'll tell him thank you and keep doing what he's doing.
It's a very big thank you. Coming up with an organization and doing all this work to, impact your community is not easy, and it's not something many people would take up. So it's a very big thank you and congratulations for making it this far. And U&I is just going to grow. The core of U&I is very intrinsic, it's very personal, and once you've touched on that, once people understand that, then they're going nowhere. And once they're part of U&I, you're actually creating impact, you're doing something, and yeah, that's what's really important at the end of the day. Yes.
The key of becoming a good mentor is to help people become more of who they are already. Here is Raft Mwangi, a great achiever inspired by his mentor Simon Kioko.
Everyone struggles with is not doing the right thing or doing the hard thing. It's being consistent. And I'll be honest, the reason I'm here for U&I is because of you. You've been very committed, you've been very consistent, and you're giving your all for U&I, making sacrifices left, right, and center. So I feel like if I could just emulate you, even for a month outside of a year, I will go a long way. So I'm here because you're still here. Oh, yeah. And when you decide to quit, I'll take over.
Interesting. That's humbling and also threatening. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate those sentiments.
As Martin Luther King Jr. quotes, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consequences, but a molder of conscience. The late Jared and Simon clearly took charge, so even as you sit here and watch this, remember that the two had nothing holding them back into making their dreams a reality. Truly, U&I is not only an organization, but family.